applied to total around 110 or more than that.
Wow.
And out of that I got only reply for maybe around 5 to 6. At that time I was really depressed.
True.
Because a lot of people were asking, oh, I have a YouTube channel as well, so there are much more certifications that you have to do in order to get even entry level jobs.
Hi, this is Arushi. Welcome to Passion Work Life. This channel is going to conduct different interviews with working professionals of different industries. Today we are going to be talking about starting a career in project management industry. We will be covering topics around salary, different job positions available, roles and responsibilities, and finally the entry level scope. I will now introduce our today's guest who came to Canada to study and now have been working in this project management industry since past 1.5 years. He is none other than Prem Chauhan. So let's welcome this person today to our channel. So welcome Prem to Passion Work Life.
Thank you so much.
You are our first guest to this channel.
Mm-hmm.
And you have been working in this project management industry since past 1.5 years.
Yes, that is correct.
Can you please introduce yourself to our viewers?
Sure. So my name is Prem Chauhan and I'm basically from Ahmedabad, India. And I have been in Canada since last 3 years almost. And I am a mechanical engineer back in India. And then after coming here, I did my process quality and project management. And since almost last 1.5 years, I have been working as a project administrator. And I really like what I'm doing right now.
That's amazing to hear, because not everybody can say that they like what they're doing in their professional life. So it's really nice and good to hear that. Perfect. So you mentioned that you have been in Canada since 3 years, right?
Right, that is correct.
That is a very short time to actually find a job. So definitely our audience and our viewers are very curious to know, how did you get this job and what did you do to find this job?
So basically I was a mechanical engineer back in India, but I wasn't really that good with technical things. I always wanted to change my career into some kind of management jobs, but I wasn't really sure about what I'm going to do. When I was in India, I was thinking I might do MBA, but then I got to know about this abroad study option and I decided finally to come to Canada. And my first course I did process quality engineering, and that was also a little bit technical but not that much, but I really liked studying about the quality engineering as well. And then I did my second course as a project management, and it was a post-graduation diploma certificate. So I finished that course as well, and it was like 1 year duration. And that course really changed my perspective about the field of how many jobs are there in the market and how much demand right now in this industry. So I finally decided to go into that field. And I remember that after graduating, I started working full-time at Tim Hortons, where I was working part-time. And I was a supervisor at that time, but working in a restaurant, you know that you can't really make like really good money, and you always look for a field job that you have studied for. So within around 3 to 4 months, I think I got this job. If I talk about the process which I followed, was I graduated and then I started looking on Indeed and LinkedIn. That two were the main platforms where I was generally looking for the new postings. And the good thing about me was I was very disciplined and I was kind of a person who likes to do hard work. At that time when I was applying or researching about the job, I had a habit about managing an Excel file. So I created an Excel file. I keep track record of 5 to 6 positions which I applied daily. And I tried to follow up on them, and I tried to check mark whether they called me back or they send me an email or they rejected me. So it makes your head really clear that what positions that you have to focus on now, because sometimes it happens that people apply to 100 jobs and they think that, oh, nobody has approached me back, but you have to really think that okay, 80 people already sent you an email that you have been rejected or they move ahead. So now your focus should be on the remaining 21. You can't just tell about the okay, I did 80 applications and got rejected. So you have to always talk about the positive things and focus on that in order to get your first job.
So I have a question in your story. Just out of curiosity, I think our viewers would have also have this question: how many jobs you got rejected in? Because I think you said you have maintained an Excel sheet for this.
Right.
So like rejected probably by just applying or first level. Let's count everything, and like what's your record score? Like you got rejected before you actually got accepted.
So if I remember it right, I applied for like 2 months or something. And then I got discouraged, so I discontinued for certain days, and then I started back applying because it was really hard to work at Tim Hortons as a full time and then apply for jobs because you have to cook by yourself and laundry, and there are much more chores. So long story in short, I applied to total around 110 or more than that.
Wow.
And out of that, the numbers were very disgusting that I got only reply for maybe around 5 to 6.
Wow.
And out of that 5 to 6, I got interview for only 2 or 3, I guess. And out of that 3 interviews, I was able to get 1 job successfully.
That is really amazing to hear. Like out of 105, only 2 interviews.
Yeah,
So-
it sounds really motivational right now, but at that time I was really depressed.
True.
Because a lot of people were asking, oh, I have a YouTube channel as well. So a lot of people were asking there as well, what you are doing right now.
Right.
And I was feeling a little sad that I'm working full time as a supervisor at Tim Hortons.
Correct.
And people will judge you that what you studied, why you are not getting a job.
Yeah.
Job market wasn't that good as well. And it's still not good as well. So it's really hard to get a job, even if you're looking for entry level jobs.
No, that's definitely true here in Canada. I think the biggest complaint I have heard is finding jobs. So I think that was one of my motivations to actually start this channel, just to have an introduction and find out like if everybody can find their own passion. So I think your past and how you have come to this particular project administrator position has been a remarkable journey. Really, it has been an amazing journey
Thank
that
you.
we've heard.
Thank you.
So my next question is going to be, as you've mentioned, you love this job. So we want to know what you do in your day-to-day routine, in your day-to-day work hours. So basically, what is your roles and responsibilities at your workplace?
So my title is project administrator. So mainly I have to take care of schedules of different projects, budgets, and maintain all the documentation database of the projects that we are working on or my company is working on. And if I talk a little bit in detail that we have a different robotic palletizer projects, and so it's very important that on a weekly basis you review the schedule. So I use mainly MS Project in order to make the schedule of different projects, and then every Tuesday we have a meeting with whole team like engineering team lead, project manager, operations manager, general manager, and much more people, and we discuss about the schedule of the projects. We see what are the problems we have, what kind of risks that can be happen in the future within a month or 2, and we try to make our risk response plan based on that. And I think mainly that's what I do on schedule side. And the second is budget. So regarding the budget, it's very important. If suppose you have sold a contract of $100,000 and you budgeted that contract that you are going to spend $80,000, now $20,000 is your margin, then you have to make sure at certain point in your project you are managing that cost, whether project is under budget or over budget, or is there any contingency fund you have. If you are familiar with the project management industry, then you might have heard this word before. And mainly to track the cost of different things, we use a ERP system, and from that ERP system database we export the data into Excel, and I manage that complicated Excel files with some VLOOKUPs and some kind of formulas that I have set it up. And we look it on bi-weekly basis because it's not very critical to look at a weekly basis. That's what I mainly manage, schedule and budget. There is also sometimes it can be include scope, because that is like a 3 triangle of project management: scope, budget, and schedule.
Right.
But scope is generally done by general manager or someone who is at higher authority, because there can be a changes requested by customer.
Correct.
So I really like what I do. I like to discuss or facilitate the conversations and get the things done, and it feels really good that when you try to put your inputs in resolving something, even if you don't have that much technical knowledge, there are persons who know really detail about how the system works. So you have to ask the right question to them in order to make your schedule work.
Gotcha. Okay. So I think you have used a lot of technical terms, budgeting and VLOOKUPs, and I
Right.
believe I think these are an extra study terms. So I want to know, like, was this all taught you in the project management course that you completed, or did you do some additional studies actually to gain this knowledge and skill set?
Basically, I was a little bit familiar with Excel, Word, and presentation because whenever you are studying in college or school, you might have done some assignments there. But you don't know like all formulas of Excel, but you
Right.
can even Google it and research a little bit and you will
Yeah.
get to know. And the second thing, MS Project, as a part of my course, which I did, Project Management Post Graduation Diploma,
Yeah.
I have been taught MS Project to manage the project, like how you add tasks or different activities, how you set it up, the duration, how you calculate the total path of the project, or what is the critical path. There are like activities, finish to start, start to finish. So if you are doing any course about project management, you will be pretty familiar with MS Project.
Okay, it's interesting to learn.
Yeah.
So basically, all of this learning was done in your course and college course that you did, right?
Right.
Okay, so I just want to confirm, like, have you done any additional certifications or any additional skills that helped you out to find this job?
So when I was graduating, I got to know from different faculties that there are much more certifications that you have to do in order to get even entry level jobs. So one of my faculty has told me that about the CAPM certification. Its full form is Certified Associate in Project Management.
Okay.
So for to get qualified for that certification, you should have 23 hours of educations and you should have at least higher secondary degree or high school diploma.
Okay.
So I remember I pass out from my college and I make like 15 days of study for the certifications, and I was reading PEM book, which is the book of project management.
Right.
And within 15 days I appeared for the certification. It was pretty easy. You can give it from your home sitting at your place, but there is no chance of cheating. It's very strict. Even if you look out of the screen, they will give you a warning.
Right.
So ultimately I got above target in all domain and I cleared that CAPM exam.
That is amazing. So this certification was also like a kick for you to find a job,
Right.
like to
Yeah.
get to the next level, basically.
Yeah, and compared to KPM certification, there is another level certification which is in very demand right now, which is PMP,
PMP.
Project Management Profession. In order to be eligible for that, you should have 3 years of experience. And at that time, I didn't have any experience in that field.
Okay.
So I wasn't able to give PMP. So I
Right.
gave this KPM exam.
Okay. So I would say, like, if anybody is interested in project management field, I think these are the basic terminologies that you need to be interested in or have knowledge about, and these certifications can definitely help you out in finding jobs in this industry. Correct?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
It doesn't guarantee that you will get a job, but when you are doing an interview or your employer asks like how much familiar you are with that, it is always an additional point that you can add in an interview that I have passed this exam.
Correct.
So in that way, they can also get to know that, okay, you are serious about getting into this field. You are just not a random guy who studied project management and now you're looking for jobs.
Yeah. So just to add a specialty in, because I think if you're doing a project management course in any of the colleges or universities, I think it's like 500 people doing with you. So
Right.
how to make yourself special? So just by doing something different and additionally adding it to your portfolio, I would say.
Right.
Right. Okay, that sounds great. So I think we can see that your journey and your hard work has helped you out a lot to reach to this level.
Yeah.
So the next question our viewers are interested in, it seems like your journey has been a huge amount of hard work and struggles and challenges. So do you want to give us certain tips and tricks that probably if our viewers avoid doing it, like some challenges and struggles you faced or some mistakes that you did that made you, that basically you feel like if you knew it beforehand and if you would have avoided those mistakes, your growth would be faster. So what's those mistakes that you would like our viewers to know which they can avoid doing it?
So I would say that the majority of the people who are in this industry, there is not much knowledge about what are the job titles that you can apply for and how to grow in this field. So I wasn't even aware about at that time. So I did a pretty good research about what are the job titles. I even tried to consult with some of my college faculties. I've watched a bunch of YouTube videos and searching on internet and going into PMI website.
Right.
So I have made like few videos on my YouTube channel separately, which
Okay.
indicates that how to get like what are the entry level jobs for this field.
Right.
So if you allow, it would be better to set the link in the description.
We'll definitely add those links to our this first video just for your reference if you guys want to know more about project management and the certifications he has done.
So that way they will know the title of the junior levels that they can apply for. For suppose I was thinking, okay, I'm doing project management right now, so I will apply for a project manager job.
Yeah.
And that's the common thinking that all people have.
Right.
Oh, you are doing project management and then you will be project manager. But it doesn't happen that way. You have to apply for a initial level position like project admin, project coordinator, junior project manager, project associate. And then after you gain certain years of experience, or sometimes people like within a year of experience you get promoted, but at least you have to start somewhere if you don't have any experience in that field.
So to focus on the challenges, I think a person needs to have a good research. I think that's the first thing
Right.
you would suggest, is that having a research about what kind of job positions that are available in this industry. It's not just that if you're doing project management, it means you're going to be a project manager.
Right.
I think, as you mentioned, there's a lot of different job positions and a huge amount of scope available in this big tree. Okay, let's go to the final crux and towards the end of this interview. I think this is going to be my second last question, which is salary. So everybody wants to know what kind of salary ranges is available. Let's start with entry level job, because I think you have an experience and you've been in this industry, and looking at your background, your research work, you have a knowledge about the ranges and salary. So please tell us, what is the salary for this position?
So as far as from the research that I have done in last almost 1 year, I would say that for whatever entry levels positions which I said, I wouldn't go to the annual salary, because mainly these are per hourly base. So if we are looking at hourly, you can make somewhere around $20 to $25.
As an entry level person?
Yeah, as an entry level person, that is, I would say that at least you should expect greater than $20.
Right.
Sometimes even I have seen some positions go up to like 26, 27.
Oh,
But
that's
at
nice.
least anything above like $20 is pretty average.
Is a good start.
Yeah.
Okay. So a final question would be, where do you see yourself growing in this industry? Just so that if somebody is trying to follow this path, they know where it's leading them to and where it's growing them to.
So right now I'm studying PMBOK just to get an idea about more project management concepts, and I'm planning to give my PMP certification in next 1.5 years. I don't think it works the same way for all people. Mainly project management is divided into two fields. So one field is like waterfall approach, where generally there are project managers who manage the project and responsible for everything. And another field is more about agile. So if you are interested in going into any IT field, then you can be a scrum master, and there are much more different certifications, which I don't know like total how many certifications they provide. But the main famous titles of positions who make really good money are scrum master and project manager. And there are like product manager or much more further paths or roles. But looking at where I am right now, I see myself a project manager or a scrum master. Maybe I haven't decided it yet, but we'll see in near future if I change my mind or something and get the scrum master certificate instead of PMP.
Okay. So now we are at the end of this video, and I think what I learned from this whole podcast, or I would say the whole conversation, the first thing is that the research is very important when you're trying to explore an industry, or when you're trying to explore a passionate career. You've done an immense good amount of research, and I believe anybody who's trying to follow at any different kinds of career path, research is the basic groundwork. Second thing I feel is important is keep applying. I think what you said about 105 jobs that you've applied and you only got 2 interviews, that was something anybody would get disappointed with it, but you just have to keep going. Like, of course, disappointment is going to be there, but just keep going to it.
Right.
So I think these two are my biggest learnings out of this conversation. Thank you so much to give such great information to our audience and our viewers, and I hope watching this video, everybody or anybody who's interested in this career path helps them out. Please comment below if anything is missing or anything you want to know more about this project management industry, and I'm gonna tag the 2 videos that he has mentioned. So if you want to know more about the certification or about this project management, please click them as well. So here we are gonna end this video. Thank you so much. Thank you, Prem, for
Thank
joining
you.
us.
It was a pleasure to be here.